Spoiler alert, this podcast is all about happiness. What gave it away? I'm Fayon Dixon and welcome to Happy Talk. Each week, I will be introducing you to someone that I share a happy connection with. I just believe that we all have happy stories, happy events, and we sit on them. We never share them. So this is the platform for doing it. I work as a presenter, broadcaster, events host. I work with stroke survivors. I have my own children's radio show. And I've been really lucky in the last 20 years to do work where I just ooze happiness. Yeah, I'm one of those people. My cup is eternally overflowing. Sit back, enjoy. It's time for Happy Talk. Hello and welcome to Happy Talk with me, Fayon Dixon. Good news, good guests, no grief. You're not going to get any grief out of my guest. Marverine Cole is here. Marverine.
Hello. I've been so
Hi.
excited to join you on this podcast. I've been thinking about it all day.
Oh, man.
Seriously.
We have tried to get talking for months, years.
Month? Yeah.
We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that in a moment. But as usual, at the start of my podcast, I like to share some news from the rooftop. These are my friends. They're on Instagram and they have news worth shouting about. Yeah.
Like it.
Everything they do is to do with issues or campaigns that are out there that are making a difference. And that's what I really love. This one, they start with the title. Did you know that schools and colleges in England can access free period products through the government scheme? Now, we're of
What
a
scheme?
certain
That's new to
age.
me.
Thank you. We're not at school anymore. My daughters have just left school. My stepdaughters have left school now, but they are at uni. But this is something that has been rattling around social media for many, many years. And I remember doing an interview with two young university students who had a fantastic idea for how to put more publicity out for the lack of information there is for girls to find out about products, free products, um, where to get more information about menstruation and just general help. And they had something where you could actually buy different products on Amazon and sort of, so you could buy them and send them off to different people around the world. And I got
Brilliant.
totally involved with that. But I'm glad to hear at last the government are on board. So news from the rooftop are saying schools and colleges in London Borough of Havering are being encouraged to apply for free sanitary products to help fight period poverty amongst young girls. Each, or rather every state school and college in England can order sanitary products for their students funded by the UK government. But according to campaigning organisation Free Periods, only 4 out of 10 colleges, primary and secondary schools have signed up for the scheme since it launched in January 2020. So
Mm.
a survey in Havering Youth Council revealed that 8 out of 10 girls did not know who was responsible for menstruation support in their school, and 6 out of 10 felt embarrassed to ask for products. So there's more information in the link for news from the rooftop. But I just feel that the government has been very slow in coming forward on this one. I mean, we're women. We have been part of, we've menstruated in our lives and we've had to buy our own products. And there have been times where you kind of look at the packet, you look at the price, and you're like, how is it that I'm still paying for this? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's really, really interesting, actually. I mean, it's great there is funding available, but it sounds to me like if only, what were the numbers again? 4 out of 10 schools, colleges have applied for that funding.
Hmm.
That says to me, and, anybody else, if you've got any other views on it, they can flag that up. But it feels to me as if there's still a lack of awareness around period poverty. I mean, to me, I hadn't heard of the term, up until about 2, 3 years ago. I was like, okay, this is a thing. But also, it feels like, yeah, there's a lack of awareness amongst schools. Schools and colleges might not even realize that they perhaps need to offer some support.
Yeah.
Particularly, when I think of when I was a little girl and, had that conversation with my mom. And, when you're kind of 9, 10, the whole conversation around periods is mortifying, to be honest.
Mm,
And, if there was support in schools where you could actually talk to someone else who you didn't feel quite so shy talking to about it or whatever, my mom is amazing. She's my hero. I'm not the woman, I couldn't be the woman today that I am without her, right?
mm.
But there does feel I feel there's a need for support in schools and colleges,
Yeah.
and also to kind of just in some way they should be surveying their students to at
To
least
find out what they need.
identify if there's a need,
Yeah.
and if there's a need, then get that money, apply for that funding.
Every day there is a woman who is basically on her period somewhere in the world, billions of us, yeah. And so it's not like it's I wonder what's happening. It's a
Mm,
topic. It's something that should be sort of looked out for more, and women should be looked out for, looked after more in this way. And especially in the education sector where you're informing young women about their bodies,
mhm.
so surely they should be able to have access. So this is fantastic news.
It
Really
is.
pleased to hear finally the government's got on board with this one. It shouldn't be an uncomfortable conversation. So I'm just tickle pink with that one. So thank you for your input on that.
My
So
pleasure.
you are my guest today. You're an award-winning journalist and broadcaster. Um, I mean, you have just broken barriers. And the thing that I love about you is that you're a sommelier. You love your beers.
Oh yes, a
You love
bit
your beers and you're
smelly.
good at talking about them, tasting and sharing what you know about them. How did you get into that?
Do you know, it did come about through my journalism, and it's really interesting. It my love of it kicked off through me trying to find an interesting story that I wanted to tell on TV, and I was looking for a feature idea. I remember reading a news article um, that was explaining some statistics from something called the Cask Ale Report, and I was like, "Who's making a report about?" Right, because at the time, I was, and I still am, red wine drinker, champagne drinker, spirits drinker. And my husband and his brother were massively into ale. They still are now, but I never understood it. I never understood it rather.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so someone's written a report about beer. All right, fine. Um, but it said that from 2008, I think, to 2009, the number of women who said they love drinking real ale as part of their normal drinking repertoire, Friday, Saturday night, had doubled. And up to about 1.6 million or something like that. And I was just,
Wow.
wow. The figures kind of blew my mind. And, typical journalists going, that's making me curious. Let me go and investigate why this is. So, I researched it and looked into kind of pitching a feature for Inside Out. Remember the regional kind of BBC
Yes. Yeah.
programs? And the East Midlands has an incredible beer heritage. And I pitched, and literally the editor phoned me within half an hour of getting my email and going, yes, come and see me tomorrow. This is a brilliant idea. We've got to talk about it. When can you produce it? I was like, oh.
Wow.
But
Got
the
it.
journey, the research journey, really, beer just blew me away. I was
Mm,
tasting beer, and some of the flavors that I tasted in real ale were so very different to lagers that I tasted in the past, where
yeah.
I'd tip a bit of lemonade in to go, yeah, that'll make it more drinkable. That's how I saw beer. That's how I came to beer. So it flipped my thinking on it really, and that was 10 years ago, and I've been beer searching and drinking ever since.
Ever since. I
But I
love
haven't, but
it.
you know what? Yeah, I haven't stopped drinking red wine, champagne, all the other stuff, right? It's just, I maybe I favor beer more. Yeah,
Is
it's probably
it?
true to say. But I drink other things as well. Yeah.
Okay. Glad you cleared that up.
Yes.
So here's the thing now. Here are my connections to you. So um we both worked on a shopping channel together.
Yes, we did.
QVC. Now, I was a guest presenter on QVC and I did
Yes.
solutions. And love a bit of storage, me. Listen,
Oh,
want to, if you need to store something, come and see me. I will find a way for you to do that.
all right.
That's what I used to do as a guest presenter. And you got a gig there, didn't you?
Yeah. It was kind of it's quite random because again through journalism connection. So my really good friend Jackie Cabler, who's a presenter on QVC now, she was there. We used to work together at BBC Midlands Today as reporters, but we'd always kept in touch. And she's local as well. She's Gloucestershire, right on Birmingham. And she just messaged me one day and said, "Hey, Marv, QC looking for people." And I was like, "Really?" And I got an audition. I think I had 3 auditions. And I think, again, I might be corrected on this. I think I might have been the first ever main presenter, black female, on the channel in 20 years. Because when I arrived there, it was their 20th year anniversary. And it was a crazy experience. It's just so full on, and so it almost feels like the QVC world never sleeps.
No. It's 24 hours.
Tell you what, one of the things that I love about QVC is, I've worked a lot in news and in like television news studios, and what's really interesting about Q is, it's just the slickest television operation you've ever worked in your life. The way that you'd be talking about something and then you'd have to kind of like the picture, like a graphic would come up on the screen about the next products, and whilst that came up on the screen, like 2 or 3 floor managers would swoop in, clear away the table, lay out everything else perfectly, literally in under a minute, right?
With no noise at all.
No, they were like just these magical TV fairies. And and that's not to say actually that newsroom studios are not slick.
This is a different kind of slick though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's great. It's great. I just had a delivery of Elemis today's special value because I still buy. Of course, I still buy them because I love beauty products. I'm obsessed with beauty. Yeah. One of my tasks tonight is to go up to the bathroom. We've got like a big tall bathroom cupboard that we bought to put all the beauty products in that had got all the different brands.
Nice.
And I have so much that I'm having to throw some out to put some new stuff in.
Throw them my way.
Yeah,
okay. Way. Throw things out. You gift. There's always something you can do, but don't throw them away. You can literally do something else with them. You can gift them.
Right.
Now, my second happy memory for you, and you've actually mentioned it a little bit. Birmingham. It is Birmingham. So Brummie girl, Coventry kid. Yeah. And I feel we grew up in the Midlands around the same kind of time. We never knew each other then. We hadn't met them. But I used to go to Birmingham Market with my mum pretty much every Saturday. And I loved the experience. I loved it. So off we go with our shopping bags. And I just, I was only little, and I used to remember going to the fish market and like peeping over the edge and looking at all the fish, and going to the fruit stalls and the colours, and I like Babs, pass me your bag, and they used to talk in a way where you felt like they knew you.
Yeah.
Raggy, going down the rag market. How often did you go down there? Because me and my friends, when we were in Coventry, our destination was the rag market.
That's amazing. I never knew that. That is so amazing, because your memories and mine just align completely, because we'd go every Friday. Because Mum used to pick me up from school. I used to go to school in Edgbaston. This is my earliest memory of the markets. I was probably about 4. Mum would get me from school. We'd get the train from Edgbaston. And I think it was just one stop into city centre to go to the market. So Mum would go and get hard dough bread, and fish and all,
fish.
Yeah, everything. Get that Friday fish, right? So I was always excited about going into school in the morning, knowing that 12 o'clock we were going down there. And it was such an all-consuming feeling being in the middle of the markets, because I'm tiny, right? You're 4 years old, stretched up to my mom's hand, gripped like, the tiger-like grip on her, because I didn't want to get lost because it's just
No,
people. Just whoosh, whoosh,
it'd
whoosh.
be really easy to get lost in there. Yeah, yeah.
And but then the thrill of it, as people are surrounding you, like you said, you can hear, yeah, what do you want, love? What do you want? It was just amazing. And the treat for me was, because I was a very good girl.
Oh,
There's no way I was running around, and playing hide and seek and all the rest of it. I was a good girl, so I was always waiting for my treat. And my treat was that Mom would buy me a little bag of candy floss. So
oh,
I
you
could have a
forget
little
candy
candy floss
floss.
on the way home. Yeah, honestly, it was the best. That is one of my earliest memories. Best thing. It was the most exciting part of the week for me.
It was just the most incredible place. I mean, yeah, I can still see the faces of, the people at the nut center,
Oh, the nut
all the
center. Oh,
nuts
come on, with the cashew. Give me a bag of cashews.
with the packaging, with the nut center that she's have all
Yeah,
the nuts and everything on the
it was a
bar,
beautiful picture on the front, wasn't it? A little white bag with a beautiful picture on the.
palm tree or something. I forget
Yeah, it
exactly.
was.
But the stores, so we used to go to the material store to get like different curtains and material.
Yeah.
I used to love going to the buttons stall, all
Oh.
the buttons, because the lady would let me play with them. And
Yeah.
I used to go and get, I used to get her tights,
Oh,
American tan,
talk about the top. Hang on.
American tan.
Did every black woman of a certain age have American tan tights? Because that's exactly what my mom had as well. And yeah, my mom used to get them from the markets. Yeah, totally. This is so.
A big bag of tights. And
Yeah.
there was the indoor market, and there was a merry-go-round outside, and
Yeah,
sometimes I
yeah.
get to go on there.
I'm trying to remember whether they had the like frozen section as well, because they used to have a freezer section, which is I'm sure where like B Jams and Iceland got the idea from. Because in our markets there was a whole set of a row of those deep chest freezers
Yeah,
with
yeah, 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 yeah.
you just go and root around.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't really know what was frozen in the bag. It looks a bit like chicken. It would just look like it might make a good dinner. You just go like, how much is this? Oh, I
Oh
loved
my
it. Also,
gosh.
would go there to get black hair products, to go and
Of
get hair
course.
oil, wax, whatever for your hair.
Yes.
Ah,
Hot iron combs. My mum used to get her iron combs there, and the little she had like little heaters that
oh
she put
yeah,
the
it's like the little oven.
the little that paraffin
Oven,
heater kind of
yeah,
thing, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
could put her hot combs on there. Do you remember when the Palisades got opened?
Mate, come on.
Oh
The
my.
Let me tell you about the Palisades, right? I love the Palisades. How many dates I waited for boys at the top of the escalators, just for because the escalators used to go down to New Street Station.
Yeah.
But also, weirdly, when I was not long after I graduated, I think I went for a job, like to be like a secretary or something. Palisades management, and I was so excited because I was like, I could work at the Palisades. This could be amazing. I didn't get the job. But
Oh shit.
Palisades was the hottest shopping centre, wasn't it?
It was the
Just
best.
amazing.
But
Oh.
like you, I also wanted to work in the Palisades. And when I left school, I was a hairdresser. I went to college in
Wow.
Coventry. Yeah, I went to the Bucks College in Coventry because I actually wanted to be a journalist at school, but it's a
Why?
whole nother podcast. We'll talk about that another
Yeah,
time.
we need to talk about that, right?
Yeah, yeah. I had a little knock of confidence. So I went
Mm,
for my second love, which was hairdressing.
yeah.
So I trained up, blah, 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 blah. But, from going into Birmingham and seeing the Palisades and everything, and there was this hairdresser's right at the top of the escalators from the station, and it was called Command Performance.
Oh.
And it was red, and it had TV screens. I mean, this is the 80s, right? It was red and grey, and it had TV screens either side of the window, and it was completely open. There was no door, it was just completely
Wow.
open. There was these massive shutters we put on it. It was revolutionary. It was all steel and iron, and all the hairdressers had their own funky steel hanging kind of areas. We'd
No
seen
way.
nothing like it. This place blew me away. And I'm like, I'm going to work there. Yeah. So
Me.
I was this little tiny hairdresser. I just, finished my college training, and I was working in a salon in Coventry. And one day I went to Birmingham, and I walked in. I just walked in. And I said,
You
I
don't. You
really want to work here. I said, I really want to work here. Can I speak to somebody, please? And the guy went, well, I'm the manager. You can talk to me. Because that's how it was back in the day. People were there. You'd have to email, you'd have to write a letter. You could just walk in,
Yeah, send me a CV.
you know? And look, I just spoke to him, and he said, okay, come back a couple of days from now and we'll give you a proper interview. Fine. I went and had a proper interview, and I got a job as a junior stylist. Listen,
Really? That
and
is incredible.
you know what? That experience has followed me through life, because most of the jobs that I've done because I've asked somebody either outright, or I've networked, or I've literally willed it into my life. Yeah. I haven't actually applied for that many jobs in writing. Yeah. So I started working at Command Performance, and I felt the business. We were wearing grey boiler suits with red Command Performance collars.
All right.
You could fix up the arms so you could tie them up if you wanted to. And I worked there as a junior stylist. And as I sort of progressed, they were like, well, you know what? We have other salons around the country,
Yeah.
and you can go and work in them. So there was like, they were, what do you call them?
It was a franchise. Was it a franchise?
Franchises,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool.
But ours was the head office, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And there was like, I don't know, there was, I don't know, 5 stylists in there. Tony, Javita. Javita used to wear Poison. Remember
yeah.
Poison?
Remember Poison? They're advertising it on TV now. Like it's literally one of the classics, isn't it?
And Javita, imagine, just sorry, I'm going to just sidestep for a second. Javita was like a Grace Jones style character,
Oh,
chiseled cheek.
oh wow. Did she have the hair to match?
Thank you. The hair was
Really? Oh,
right.
so cool.
He wore the sharpest suits, and the nails were out here. Long red nails
They
were out
actually do people's
here.
hair then with nails like that.
Yeah. She was our top stylist,
Oh
and
wow.
we were petrified of this woman. One look,
Oh.
and and for whatever reason, she took me under her wing, and every now and again somebody got made like her apprentice, and she made me her apprentice. And when you were Javita's apprentice, you knew you were going places. And
Ooh.
we'd have lunch together, and she'd like take me around to like some of the slicker shops around Birmingham and like suit me up. And
Oh my gosh.
listen, oh, Angela as well. I still remember all their names. And
Seriously.
what
That is
happened?
incredible.
What happened here? Just fast forward, because we need to get back to you. I'm so sorry.
No, but I love this story. The weirdest thing is I don't remember Command Performance, which is crazy. Probably because I might have seen it and gone, this is too cool for me, so I'm just walking straight past. Because I was
There.
quite a nerdy kid as well. I would be
Oh my,
like looking at the shop going, I'm scared. I can't go in there because I'm not cool enough.
it was
I'd
there.
definitely be thinking that.
It was there for so many years. And do you know what? They had all these salons all around the country, and I ended up going to work in other salons when somebody was either off sick or on holiday, or they needed extra help. So I'd go to work in Manchester, Wisbech, Liverpool, Brighton. I started traveling all over the country, because the other stylists didn't like either doing it, or they had like a partner or a dog to look after. But I was
Yeah,
young,
yeah.
free, and single.
Brilliant. What was
Oh,
that like, kind of going up and down the country doing,
amazing.
being standing and stuff? But I mean, just seeing the other places,
It was amazing. It was my way. And I mean, I got around the UK as a little girl, because my mum and dad used to take me to a lot of seasides. But
Mm.
now I'm 18, 19 years of age, and I'm going to all these different towns, and I'd be staying with a family, or, staying in like a little side house, or in a Airbnb, but there were Airbnbs then, or a little guest house or whatever.
B&B, right? Yeah, yeah, B&B. Yeah,
B&B.
yeah, yeah.
But I'd stay with the family a lot of times and I'd make friends and I'd return back to Leeds or Manchester. We used to go clubbing, pubbing. You know, I made real friends. It was just so amazing. And that's what brought me to London. I went to Croydon, to a salon in Croydon, and I got
Oh,
offered a job. And that's what brought me to London in
do you
1980.
know, I was going to ask you because I fell in love with Manchester when I worked there for a while, and 20 years ago, I almost made the move. So I
Great
was going to
city.
ask you, did you feel more an affinity with the north or the south, like how you got to London? So
Well,
okay, so Croydon, woo,
for me, I've been all over the country. I mean,
yeah,
I've known the UK cities from when I was small. And so
yeah,
I never have this, oh, the South is best or the North is best. I just
no.
liked going everywhere.
But don't you think that's a Midlands person? Don't you think that's a Midlands?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
feels to me like it's a Midlands mentality because everyone talks in the language of North and South, and they ignore the Midlands. They don't talk about the Midlands as the Midlands. People in the South will talk about the Midlands as being North. They include us
Thank
as
you.
being North. It's like, no, we have our own identity. So that's why I think, that's where it comes from, I think.
You're absolutely right. And I don't know about you, but because we were in the middle, Coventry, Birmingham, right in the middle of the UK, we made no bones about go to clubs in Liverpool or Manchester
Oh,
and come home on the same night on the coach or the
yeah.
minibus and then shoot down to London and then come back again. And I would
Yeah.
tell my friends in London, if they go, you go to Manchester for a club just for a night, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
cool. You're anywhere we could get to. Nothing was happening.
Anywhere, anywhere, anywhere. Sorry about my doorbell just rang, but it's all good. It's probably more beauty products. But yeah, there'd be
Email
no
QVC.
there were coaches all the time, weren't there? Every weekend from Birmingham anyway, there were coaches to parties.
Yeah.
Manchester, Liverpool, London, Derby, Leicester, Nottingham, because we'd go we'd go that way, we'd go to the east as well. Yeah, crazy.
It's a Midlands mentality. You're absolutely right. We would go anywhere to party, anywhere to work, and
Yeah,
we're friendly folk. We're
yeah.
really friendly people. Not that
Proper,
the North and South aren't, but the Midlands.
proper. Yeah, but hey, it's Midlands time.
It's Midlands time. Okay, well, thank you for letting me reminisce on about
Beautiful
Birmingham.
memories
Oh,
of 0121 land. No.
good question because
Yeah.
everybody that I do my podcast with, yeah, I can remember exactly where I met them. And I've known you for 10, 15 years. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a long time, isn't it?
We've been supporting each other on social media, um, just talking to each other across email and whatever. But we've never met in person.
I don't think we have. I think we were meant to, weren't we? At some point when I was in London more with the queue. But I don't think we ever got there.
But I feel like you're almost like a sister. Like I know you. But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy, isn't it?
we try to meet this time. Oh no, 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 I'm getting married. Oh, I tried to meet that time. Oh no, I'm getting married. I never
Yeah,
tried to meet
yeah,
that time. Oh gosh, I've moved now. Da, da, da.
yeah,
We've never actually physically met. We tried to meet so many
yeah,
times. We never met.
yeah. Do you know what? It's crazy, but it is also, I feel, indicative of the world that we're in terms of our use of social media.
Hmm.
Because we have a lot of friends that we're connected to and that we feel an affinity with, or that
Mm.
we've tweeted some jokes to and whatever, and then we feel we get to know each other, follow, DM. I know a lot of people on social media, and then it's always like that. We've got to meet. But then everybody, up until current circumstances anyway, we're all so busy doing this, that, and the other. And it's even harder, I think, when you're in cities apart. Um, but when we come out the other side, girl,
We're meeting.
yeah, I'm gonna take you for beers.
Yeah.
Yay! Gonna take you for beer.
Okay, good, 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 good. So we're going to get a date in the diary as soon as this whole thing's over. We're going to meet and we're going to post a photograph of ourselves on all of the social medias, all of the Twitters. And so we finally, after having a friendship for what, 12 years or so,
I
we have
know.
finally met.
Mad, innit?
Right then.
It's
It's
mad.
time for
It's gonna
me.
happen.
It's time for me to now meet your show and tell. Every podcast, I have a show and tell, and I'm now on Spotify and Alexia as well. So you're going to have to work a little bit harder to describe your
Okay.
show and tell.
Okay. All right. So the show and tell is something that is on it's on my left hand, and as
Oh,
I wrestle it from a finger of my left hand, I put to
wow.
the screen a
Engagement.
platinum ring with a 5 carat princess cut diamond on, which is my engagement ring.
I feel like I'm back in shopping television.
Yes,
Look
look
at
at
the
that
bling.
cut.
Look at the shine.
Look at that shine. You know what? I was so rubbish. I was so rubbish at selling jewelry.
I used to
On
love catching
QVC,
the
they kept me away.
light.
They kept me away from them shows.
Oh gosh. I used to like catching the light, and you're waiting.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
You would wiggle waggle. You'd wiggle waggle it.
there's a
Like,
shot.
yeah, yeah. So it's terrible. See, I'm
So
really
a
bad now.
princess cut engagement ring. That was the one I was thinking of getting myself, but I've got something quite different. But tell me why this is your wonderful, happy memory.
It's my happy memory. Well, without going too soppy, although please reach for a tissue if you would like. So it's the engagement ring that my now husband Austin Duffy gave to me, and he proposed. Oh, now let's think. We were together 5 years, so and we got married in 2011. Do you know? I can't remember the proposal date. Sorry, I can
No.
remember the date, 29th of October,
There
but
you go.
not the year exactly. It's probably 3 years.
Details, details.
Anyway, 29th of October. And it's just because, I never ever thought I would ever meet my soulmate, get married, have a happy life with someone whom, I share the same crazy, nerdy loves of, Laurel and Hardy, Three Stooges, Star Trek, um, punk music, punk rock. I've brought up on punk rock and all these things, right? I never thought I'd meet anybody like that. And he came into my life, and we have such fun together. And when you ask me about this, what it should be that brings you joy, I wear this every day, next to my wedding ring, and I am just so happy. Yeah, so we've been married 9 years, so we just celebrated our ninth.
Congratulations.
And we often say to each other, you're crazy that you love me, but is it true? You still love me, don't you? Yeah. Like, I also say to him, just like, I feel so lucky and blessed that I found him and that we're together, because I don't know where I'd be.
Oh.
That sounds a bit, yeah, I don't know where I'd be. He's helped me with my direction. I've helped him, with mutual support and
Teamwork. Yeah.
all of that.
Mhm. That's
It's a bit soppy, isn't it?
no, not at all, not at all. And I'm the same. I didn't think I was going to get married, not because I didn't want to. I just didn't think I'd find somebody who
Mm,
I would be able to just be so not just Fayon, but really more. So that would somebody who would allow me to be more than I would ever expected I could be, and to be able to love somebody so much, and to have them love me so much, and to have those
mm.
conversations of how lucky we feel to have found each other. And I totally understand what you're saying. I got married very late in life, 48 I think I was.
Yeah, I was 40. Yeah.
But I meet so many people, and talking about relationships, and you know I never, as a young woman, I was never the kind of young woman who was like, oh, one day I want to get married, and thinking about every boyfriend as a potential. I never thought that. I was just always just along for the journey, and thought, see where this goes, and how long this lasts. And I don't think I've ever had a boyfriend where I thought, I'm gonna marry you. Yeah, never
Mm-mm.
had that.
Mm-mm.
And but with Lawrence, I met him. I didn't even think when I met him that he was a boyfriend material. I just thought, I remember ringing up my friend and saying to her, I've just been out for a drink for another friend's birthday and met this guy called Lawrence. He's a nice guy. I just think he's a really nice guy. And that's not me normally. I'd normally be like, boy. Guy was hot, or da da da, or whatever it was that stood out about him. But he was just a really nice guy. And she's like, "Did you get his number?" I went, "No, really, that's not like you." I went, "I don't need to." I said, "I don't know." I said, "I have a feeling he'll come back into my life if he needs to," because I was actually doing a lot of work on myself at the time. I was going through about a 2 year resurgence of just another podcast,
Yeah,
but
yes, yeah.
really getting to know myself and going through
Mm,
some stuff,
mhm,
strengthening
mhm,
my belief in who I was, and I didn't really need a relationship at that time, and people were coming into my life, but it was fine to be dating, but I wasn't really into it. I really needed to be working on me because I've been doing a lot of work on other people for too many years.
right. Hey, there you
Time,
go. That is it.
time.
You see, and that's a difference, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's
it
a
was
difference with people that you dated. You hit the nail on the head because the people that I dated, they're a whole bag of trouble. Each and every one of them. When I think
really.
now about yeah.
Yeah.
And every time I meet and date someone, I go, yeah. There would always be a point where I knew there was trouble, but then I'd go, oh, it'll work itself out. Then
Mm.
no, why did I just carry on there for another
Red
month?
flag, red flag.
Yeah, had to go, and yeah, and then I was at the stage where now, well, it's just me, myself, and I now, isn't it? You know,
So,
and then he walks into your life. It's almost like it's fated in a way,
yeah.
or that you have to wait to be at the utmost in terms of self-awareness and self-understanding and
Self-love.
self-love before you
Yeah.
can accept love.
Right. That was the journey I was on. I was on this journey to really love myself. I liked myself, but I didn't really love myself, like warts and all. Do you know what I mean? So I was going on this journey, and I remember going to New York with my friend 2008. That was it, just before Obama got in. That was it. And before the mad global recession and everything. And we went on this Halloween jaunt
Mm.
around New York. My gosh,
Oh,
that's another podcast.
Halloween in New York is mad, isn't it? We did it. Oh, it's insane. It's brilliant. It's just
We should do,
wild, isn't it? It's
we
wild.
should do a thing about that just on its. But and I said I met this really cool guy, and really, really, really cool guy, and I thought, oh, he's great, and la la la, and it didn't work out. We tried it over the
Mm,
distance, didn't work out. It's
mm.
fine. And I said to my friend, she went, "Oh, what a shame that didn't work out." I said, "Well, you know what?" I said, "If I am single for the rest of my life, I am determined to be the happiest single woman on earth." Yeah, I don't. I've realised I don't need a significant other.
Mm.
If I love myself enough, not like I gotta love myself, I gotta love myself,
No,
but
I know what you
you know
mean.
what I mean, like a
Yeah.
deep appreciation of who I
Yes.
am and what I need to bring to this world and how I'm going to create value. So I took my eye off looking for mandem and
Yeah.
focused on myself.
Yeah.
And I actually believe every single boyfriend that I've ever dated, I give gratitude to,
Mm.
because that expression, it's not you, it's me. you know I wasn't. I was along for the ride and everything, but each one was helping me to grow each time, and I thank them for that growth, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. And I never had a really, really awful boyfriend. Not really,
Wow.
really.
I love the gratitude. The gratitude thing, I'm not sure I can get to the gratitude stage. They taught me what I knew I did not want in a man. Put it that way.
Well,
My exes. They made me recognize, that's not happening. That BS is not going down in my world.
that's the other reason why you date.
Yeah.
Try it on, try it on for size, and well, that didn't fit, so you move
Yeah.
on. And
Yeah. Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
getting to know Lawrence, the two of us, he'd been on his own journey. And it was like by the
Mm,
time we met, we'd both done such a journey. We can't, in Buddhism, we call it casting off the transient and revealing the true. And I was
mm,
revealing my true identity, and he could see who I was very clearly, and I could see who he was. And then we embarked on this journey together, and we knew from the start we were going to make great teammates. We are completely opposite. We are so opposite, but he calls us a jigsaw. We fit together so well. Yes, of course we have challenges. Yes, we have great times, good times, bad times. We're married,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's what it is. It's a partnership. It's
it's
teamwork. It's ups and downs, rough with the smooth.
yeah,
Believe.
yeah. Because a lot of people
Oh,
think, I want to get married, want to get married, want to get married. Listen, that's when the work starts. So you better be
yes,
ready.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, you
Yeah,
had a
and
great wedding.
if you
Go,
can't get
yes.
through, yeah, it's like, and everyone, well, I say not everyone, but a lot of people focus on, the big day and all this, that, and the other's got to happen on the day, and that's cool. But you know what? The day is a day, and all you got left is mirrors in your head and some photos. Everything else that follows and how you navigate those choppy waters that you inevitably will meet and be in are, the key to, the strength of your marriage, basically. That's how I see it,
Absolutely. Absolutely
you
right. I mean, when we got
know.
married, we were like, okay, we both come from big families and we needed to chop down that list, man, because the venue
Mm.
decided on 120 people could be seated. And
Oh,
so that's it. We wanted that venue. Anyway, it's another story, a long story. But the wedding was never about us.
yeah.
And I've got to tell you as well, guess where
Mhm.
I got my wedding dress material from?
Where?
So I got my material from Coventry,
Yeah.
Fosel Road in Coventry.
Hey.
And the embellishment on my wedding dress was from Birmingham Rag Market.
All right.
Right?
Big up.
And then I took the material, the embellishments, and a friend of mine has connections in Bali. She took everything to Bali with a suit of Lawrence's with material that we got for him as well.
Ooh.
And they replicated a wedding dress, which was about 5 grand. I think I'm not spending that on a wedding dress. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Good luck to you if that's what you spend, and that's fine. But I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we want to buy a house. We need to do this, we need that. And they replicated my wedding dress for me, and it cost £24.
24 of your finest English pounds, do you mean? Yes? Wow.
Right?
That's amazing.
And then, and then the embellishment actually
Yeah.
had to be put on by somebody here in the UK.
Yeah.
That was the expensive part, putting on this
Yeah, of course.
embellishment,
Wow.
detailed. But, to my
Genius.
dress, listen, and then Lawrence's suit, blah, blah, blah. And then we begged and borrowed and we asked friends to do this. And, we had the most incredible wedding. It was like a party.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we made money on our wedding in the end. We didn't come away skint. We made money. We're like,
You're
and
the
then we were
BBC.
ready for our journey,
Yeah,
ready
right.
for marriage, and
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
what it's all about at the end of
And
the
like you said, it's not about it is about your union, of course, but it's about bringing together those two families and friends and stuff, and that's what's so exciting about your wedding day. Looking around the room and seeing, your cousins, your mum's side, your dad's side. Beautiful.
We're gonna have to do it again. Look at
We
us, two old married women.
I know, but it's nice and soppy, isn't it?
So I feel that in the terms of Tom Cruise, we complete each other.
Yeah,
Wow, now
yeah.
that's something right there.
Whoosh.
So,
Okay.
but we went a long way to get to that point. So
Yeah.
we deserve it. We deserve
Mm.
it, and we're happy. And we don't want for much, but we're really happy together,
Yeah.
and we're happy in the connections that we've made. And this is a whole nother chat, man. But
It
honestly,
is.
the
I
wedding.
loved.
But this is happy talk for now. I cannot thank you for sharing your experience with me of your beautiful engagement ring, and
Hmm.
just sharing your life, a little bit of your life with me. Thank you
My
so much.
pleasure. Thanks for asking. It's been fun. It's been brilliant. It's also been a little bit scary because
Why?
normally I'm used to asking the questions, aren't I, as a journalist? And so being on the other side is like, I don't know, how much do I say? So yeah, it's been great. It's been a beautiful experience.
How great to finally have a good old chat with Marverine Cole. Just so wonderful to have you here on Happy Talk. Thank you so much. Can't believe we've never actually met, but we've been friends for like over 12 years. How incredible. So it's now on to your happy happenings. This happy happening has come through a young lady called Doris from London, who has been inspired by some videos that I made during the start of lockdown when I was actually relearning how to do the splits. So, as a young person, I just used to lip leap into the splits at any given moment. But a bit older now, I need to warm up a bit. And I've been retraining to do the splits through lockdown. And she saw these videos, and it actually inspired her to start doing Zumba, something that she'd never done before, and certainly didn't kind of want to do with anybody else. But she's sent me a lovely email to say not only has she started doing Zumba, she's joined a class, she's got great moves. She sent me some videos as well. She looks amazing. And how it's not just bringing her happiness, but it's bringing her husband happiness as well, because he gets to watch all the classes. So I love that. Thank you so much, Doris, for sending me your happy happenings. I want to hear more. So if you have a happy happening, something that's just bringing you a little bit of joy, a lot of joy in your life, then do send me an email to happytalkwithfayondixon@gmail.com, and I will pop it on to the end of my podcast here. So until next week, when I have another great guest, I wish you a wonderful week and do take care of yourselves.